So today we'll be getting into a lot of new information regarding Bray Wyatt, Edge, Charlotte, and more. Let's start things off with these interesting remarks from Charlotte Flair. When it comes to Charlotte Flair, you generally see one main complaint and argument from a majority of fans. And that's of course the fans say, oh, Charlotte is always in the title picture. They have to give someone else a chance and all that other stuff. Well, Charlotte is a 13-time champion in WWE. But while recently speaking with Bleacher Report, Charlotte addressed those fans that claim that she's always in the title picture and had this to say. Yes, I'm the 13-time champion, but really, in the last couple of years, I have not had a successful title run. Yes, I've been in the title picture non-stop, but besides the tag titles, I haven't been the champion. But people just associate me with that, so I'm thinking, play into that, go with that. But I have been chasing. At the same time, like I said on Raw Talk, do I need a title to be Charlotte Flair? Absolutely not. Am I going to go into this any different? Absolutely not. So it's an interesting and true point there by Charlotte Flair. You think of Charlotte Flair, you think of championships right away, since she has 13 title wins. But if you flip the question and you ask yourself, okay, when was the last time Charlotte Flair had a meaningful and successful title reign? It may be a bit more difficult to answer that question. Charlotte's last world title reign was as NXT Women's Champion last spring. It was very surprising that she won the title in the first place, and she did have great matches and appearances during that reign. But according to Charlotte herself, that reign and her past few reigns haven't been a success in her eyes. And it's true, there is a lot of superstars like Charlotte and Sasha on the roster that have a lot of overall world title wins. But when you look back for these long, lengthy, memorable reigns, it's very hard to find them. Asuka was Raw Women's Champion for a majority of 2020, and it's hard to even name one memorable feud she had besides when Sasha took the title from her. So that seems to be Charlotte's motivation this time around. She's looking to have a long, successful, and memorable title reign. The last time we really saw a special and very memorable title reign for the women's division was probably Bayley, when she broke the record for the longest reign on SmackDown. So that seems to be what Charlotte is after, a Roman Reigns or Bayley-like title reign. So we'll see if Charlotte is able to make that happen here in the near future. So next up, we have a bunch of new info regarding Bray Wyatt. Let's start things off with his return date. So big news just came out. WWE is advertising Bray Wyatt and The Fiend to appear on the first few episodes of Raw in September. Now that's not to say that he's returning on that night in September, it just means that he would be at least back by September, and most likely even earlier. Bray Wyatt was hinting at SummerSlam a few weeks ago, and now word is out that he will be part of the shows in September. So the question of his exact return date still remains unknown, and it'll likely stay that way just to keep the surprise alive. But Bray Wyatt's return looks like it's most definitely set to happen over these next 2 months here this summer. Of course, with WWE advertising The Fiend for those shows, that at least also confirms that The Fiend will be returning. There's just been lots of rumors that The Fiend may be done, or they were switching up the direction a bit. But this advertisement seems to confirm that The Fiend will be sticking around. Now, will the Firefly Funhouse be sticking around as well? That's more up in the air, but if we had to pick, we would say that it stays. Bray never really gave any indication on his last Firefly Funhouse episode that it would be the final episode ever, so it doesn't really make sense for him to return without it. So just by looks alone, it appears that the Firefly Funhouse and The Fiend will be coming back to Raw this summer. Especially with WWE right now trying to sell tickets again for Raw and fill the seats, you're going to need all the star power on your show to convince fans to come see it. That's another good sign that Bray could even return late July, early August, when the road schedule is back to normal. So that's something great to look forward to for sure. That's not the only story regarding Bray Wyatt. Matt Hardy recently made an appearance for Signed by Superstars, and he dived into the pitches that he made when him and Bray were teaming. Matt had this to say during that appearance. We did have input, but I don't think Vince McMahon got what we were going for. If we would have followed what we wanted to do, we were going to have Bray Wyatt kind of be homeless because he lost Abigail and Randy Orton burned his stuff down. He was going to come to the Hardy compound, and we were going to do a series of vignettes there, as opposed to just wrestling on the show every week. I felt like that waters down so much. We wanted to do stuff that was going to be at the Hardy compound that was super entertaining. We had a lot of great stuff in mind, but it is what it is. So that was what Matt and Bray had planned for their story. The Hardy compound was used once for this cinematic match that closed out Raw 1 week back then, but everything else Matt Hardy was talking about we never saw. You have Bray and Matt as tag team, two in-depth characters, two extremely creative minds. So there was so much potential to do things like Matt was talking about. Matt Hardy was in his broken persona, and with Bray Wyatt now being homeless and losing everything due to what Randy Orton did, he could have been going down an even more broken route as well. So it definitely would have been interesting to see what the reaction would have been towards Matt and Bray if they were given this time to really go deep with their story. Like Matt talked about, what ended up happening to them was extremely watered down compared to what they had in mind. So the team of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt was great, but telling by Hardy's comments, it had the potential to be even more special. There's a lot of rumored names going around right now for SummerSlam season, such as John Cena and Brock Lesnar. But one big return that's basically a lock-in right now is, of course, Edge. Edge vanished after WrestleMania, not due to injury or other issues like that. He disappeared because technically he's a part-time superstar, and they just didn't want to waste his limited dates in empty arenas. So getting the fans back at the show gives us great things, such as the return of stars like Edge. Edge will be returning in July with the return of fans. Edge is expected to remain on SmackDown when he returns in July, and he'll be sticking around throughout SummerSlam season. He's also expected to have a big match at SummerSlam with a big heel opponent. So, a big heel opponent, who can that be? Well, Roman Reigns could be some people's guess because yes, Edge technically never got the chance to face Roman Reigns one-on-one for the Universal title, but it appears that WWE has other plans for Roman Reigns, with potentially someone like John Cena. So Roman is sorta out of the question for Edge. Fans have suggested someone like Seth Rollins, who fits the perfect description for a credible big heel opponent for Edge. Something like that would be perfect scenario for Edge. So be on the lookout for Edge because he's about to have another big program this summer leading up to SummerSlam. But what are your thoughts on all of today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like below if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.